Ori Sassoon isn't the only Israeli to win a medal in judo at this year's Olympics. Judoka Yarden Jerby also took home the bronze last week, and now all of Israel's success in the sport is bringing judo to the center of attention in the Holy Land. ILTV's Steve Leibowitz met Reuters sports reporter Ori Lewis to get his take on if the recent wins will influence Israeli youth to get more involved in sports.
How much of a boost does achievement and even just presence, participation in the Olympics do as far as the local participation in those same sports?
It's a good short-term effect for sure. You know, when people are watching the Olympics, parents of young kids might say, well, that looks like something maybe we should send our kid to, and maybe
my son
somewhere.
should be a fencer. My son can be a judo.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that obviously happens. The question is, how many of them are going to stick at it and get to the very top? Very, very few do, and of course, that shows you why it's so hard to win an Olympic medal. If you're going to be any good, you have to have the dedication, and you need to have the support at home. If you're very young, your parents have to basically sacrifice many, many things to take you to events, to pay for uniforms and equipment, make sure that that you're ready as a child for competition, and then of course the coaching staff will do their bit. But so many kids drop out. You know, I've heard over the years of so many children that I've known who were good, who've shown potential, but just didn't have the extra little ingredient needed to make it all the way to the top. It happens a lot.
Is it a cultural thing that the parents just don't push hard enough? I mean, Jewish parents are known for pushing in education. I don't know how hard they push in sport.
I don't think it's necessarily that. No, I think that there's such a broad range of cultural approaches in Israel too. I think the problem probably here is that the base from which you have to work as an Israeli is so much smaller than the many countries that aspire to do their very best at the very top of world competition. So if you look at the Israeli population, you have to discard quite a large section of the population who don't participate in sport at all.
The ultra-Orthodox population?
Yes, ultra-Orthodox population, Arab sector as well to some extent, because soccer is so prevalent as pretty much the only sport, but not necessarily. I mean, there are also aspiring Arab athletes. None in this delegation, but there are some. But of course, that is the investment in sport in those sectors is much lower, unfortunately. So the chance of having the entire 8 million Israelis as a base from which you can build doesn't really exist. It's much smaller than that. And if you take big countries, of course, and sport is an ingrained part of the culture in certainly in Western countries, in Europe, in the States, in Australia. It's just such an important part of the national ethos. That's not really the case here. I think you would say that Israeli athletes probably succeed despite the conditions and not because of the conditions, and that maybe is even a greater achievement than what it would be for others.
Well, it's always an exciting time heading into the Olympics, Ori Lewis. I know that you will be rooting for Israel to win as many medals as possible, as will I, as will the rest of the country and all of our viewers at ILTV. Thank you so much for being with us.
It's my pleasure, and I hope Israel do well.